All right, folks, time for another bite-size example. And my last video on 3D printing was a little bit on the longer side. I try to keep everything bite-size, but it allowed me to introduce the topic. And so now I can give you a practical example. So why are we looking at my gate? We're looking at my gate because that spring in the middle of the picture, or that spring allows the gate to stay shut. Now, I just had to rebuild this gate after the Santa Ana winds we had back in January. So this gate basically exploded, so I had to rebuild it. You can find that video over on my main channel as part of my gardening series. But I looked at this and I was like, okay, I rebuilt everything, but that spring that you see down there, it's missing a piece and I don't know where it went. So I tried various things. I tried sticking shims in there, but the shims were all tapered and that wasn't quite working. So I 3D printed this, and now I'm going to try and put it in and see how that goes. Okay, cut out the clumsiness here. All right, now to install this, I've got adjustable wrench here, and I'm going to turn this and then stick this in and hope that everything fits right. I did a little bit of analysis earlier just to see what kind of gap I have in here, and 2 millimeters seemed to be about right. So that's what I printed this with. And if I did it right, it should fit in there. Well, the idea should be that it's not actually fitting. Let me try something a little bit different. I can get it to go in there. Nope. It looks like my spacing between here and there is not correct. So I can file this down a little bit and we can take another shot at it. Let me give it one more try. But the idea is to get this piece of it in that little gap. And then the rest of it is there just to kind of cover up. So that's roughly what it's going to look like. I can always paint it a different color. I will say that this is an example of needing to do multiple revisions to get this to work. It looks like actually what it's fouling on is this piece right here. So I'm going to have to slightly redesign this and print it again, and with that slight revision. So I'm going to double check everything, and we'll come back in another video and see if I can make it work. Okay, folks, well, I tried printing out a new one. First, I had a failure, or at least a partial failure, so this will be my backup. This is the revised version, so let's give this another shot. I should be able to turn this and drop that in. That may be too much, actually. Nope. Back to the drawing board. All right, well, I'm not going to give up that easily. I took the backup piece and actually cut it down with a bench grinder. So I'm hoping that what it is where I set this up for 10 millimeters, maybe it's more like 8 or 7. So let's see if we try this one more time. Where I can actually get it in. That looks more promising, but I don't think it's enough. Fun! Now I'm down a bit. Not seeing any ripples in the pool. I have no idea where it went, though. Try one more time. Oh, wait a minute, it's in there. Dumb question. Is that going to be the solution to my problem? I had put a screw in there before, and it kind of worked. It just didn't look very good. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print the same plastic, but I'm going to make it about 2 millimeters. I'm going to make it go straight through. It's going to be L-shaped instead of having my idea here was to have the two pieces on the sides so that when it's in there, it won't go left and right. But it looks to me like it's only ever going to try to go to the right because everything that pings off always goes to the right. Okay, I admit it. Some of you are probably screaming at the screen saying, why don't you just modify the existing part and make it an L like you were talking about? So that's what I've done. Let's try again. I can't give up that easily. It's going in. It's in. Perfect. Let me try that from further away. Still perfect. I'm a happy camper. I know what the dimensions are there. I know roughly. You know what? I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to do a third version of the design. I will get that printed, but for now, that takes care of the problem. The blue color, I would have painted over it anyway, but there we go. A practical use for 3D printing.
I'm a happy camper, what a day. Got my project done, I'm feeling okay. The sun is shining, it's a brand new start. With joyful rhythm straight from the heart.